Extraordinary success stems from programming your entire cognitive architecture, rather than merely increasing your daily physical effort. Behavioral scientists and performance psychologists continuously run up against the biggest myth of success, the societal belief that top performers are born with inherently superior brains or an endless supply of willpower. This graph shows a massive spike in motivation that crashes entirely over a few days. Biologically, our brains are wired to conserve energy, relying on fleeting chemical bursts to start new projects. When that dopamine clears, execution flatlines. Goals are abandoned, leaving potential completely dormant. High achievers do not possess a magical reserve of willpower to fight this drop. Instead, they construct a powerful cognitive architecture, deliberate, highly automated systems specifically designed to bypass our biological default settings completely. Our baseline desire for instant dopamine pushes us toward rigid, outcome-based goals. We fixate on the finish line, telling ourselves we will lose 20 pounds or make $1 million by year's end. The achiever override requires sacrificing the comfort of immediate results. They adopt identity-based habits, choosing to define themselves strictly by their daily actions rather than a distant final metric. An amateur runner skips their morning training session because they wake up waiting to feel motivated. An elite marathoner runs in the freezing rain because running is their core identity. It is simply what they do, regardless of how they feel. Stop setting numerical targets. Choose one small, undeniable action you can execute today that physically proves your desired new identity. This diagram shows your finite mental energy battery. A chaotic morning routine of picking outfits and checking phones forces dozens of draining micro-decisions. Psychologists call this decision fatigue. These trivial choices shatter your attention span before work even begins. To bypass this, top performers treat daily attention as a strictly finite currency. They hoard it by ruthlessly automating trivial choices. Barack Obama relied on this system by wearing only blue or gray suits. Eliminating wardrobe choices protected his mental energy for complex national decisions. Steve Jobs utilized the same psychological mechanism. His iconic black turtleneck served as an automated routine that preserved his cognitive focus for high-stakes design work. They conserved this energy for what behavioral scientists call deep work. This is the practice of applying complete, hoarded mental focus to 60 straight minutes of undistracted, high-value output. To achieve deep work yourself, you have to automate one recurring daily choice. Stop draining your mental battery on trivialities before the day even begins. When faced with failure or harsh criticism, the baseline human reaction is to internalize it. This triggers a biological fight or flight response, sending you into an emotional spiral that usually ends in quitting. The high achiever override strips the emotion out entirely. They completely separate their personal self-worth from the outcome, training themselves to view failure as strictly neutral data. Consider a startup founder navigating a terrible product launch. Instead of panicking over negative reviews, they read them as a free, objective roadmap for building version 2.0. The next time you fail, strip away all the emotional language. Write down 3 objective, actionable data points that the failure just provided you. Relying on sheer willpower to overcome a toxic environment is a guaranteed loss. If you keep junk food in your kitchen, fighting the daily urge not to eat it is a battle your brain will eventually lose. High performers accept that human willpower always fails over a long enough timeline. Instead of fighting themselves, they deliberately design their physical spaces so that the correct action becomes the absolute path of least resistance. This is why professional athletes intentionally surround themselves with peers who train harder than they do. They engineer an environment where extreme, grueling effort is simply normalized. Your environment dictates your behavior. Remove one visual trigger of a bad habit from your immediate workspace today and replace it with a visual trigger for a productive one. Sustainable success relies on durable systems rather than a daily struggle against your own desires. High achievers front-load their effort to build cognitive and environmental systems that carry them forward automatically. Successful people do not have different brains. They build different habits, protect their attention, and make better decisions consistently. Stop relying on fleeting motivation to carry you to the finish line. Commit to building your own high achiever architecture, starting today. To continue decoding the psychology behind high performance, hit the subscribe button and join us here at PsyPeak every single week.